Hey everyone, this is Julia, the Nomadic Crafter, and Bambi Dog there. And we're here in the sewing studio. You can see I'm in a circle of scraps from sewing. For those of you that don't know me, I am the Nomadic Crafter, and I live in a van and travel around and find places to sew, temporary places, and I make recycled, upcycled clothing. So yeah, I'm in a really good position right now with my sewing machine material and thread and a sewing place to be able to make face masks. And that's what this video is about today. I'm not going to take time to edit this. So yeah, last night an edict came down that we were going to be required to wear face masks in public starting at midnight tonight. And all convenience store employees, grocery stores, gas stations, all of these places will be required to wear face masks in California. I'm pretty sure that's a California thing, even though I think on the federal level they are encouraging now something over your face. In any case, it's law here. The fine is $1,000 if you're not wearing a face mask. So that happened yesterday. I came into the shop and I learned that. As you can see, this is a makeshift sewing studio. I'll show you in a minute. Inside a mechanic shop office, which is awesome. I have sewn in some crazy places, and this has been one of the best. So I'm really lucky to be able to be here and be making these face masks. So I'll show you in a minute. So that edict came down last night, and I started making masks last night. I had already made a couple of my own masks, which this is one of them here. And it's double-sided, accordion style, and it has elastic sides. So you may have seen this being modeled in my most recent fashion show. So I had made a couple just for myself. The second one ended up being too big, but I had it in my van. And last night when that edict came down, I just started making masks. Someone came into the office, one of the employees here's girlfriend, and said, she works in the healthcare industry, and was I making masks, or could I make masks? I was like, I'm making masks right now. And she's like, oh, can you make me one? And she even gave me some fabric to make her some more, and maybe make several, maybe some for her coworkers. So I got one done last night and was able to give it today. So she'll get it later. And I was able to make a few last night, but there was a little bit of a learning curve with figuring out how to do a pocket so that you could put a filter inside. But now I think I'm in a place to get on a roll with it. And it's a good thing because I went to the dollar store this morning and the employee there asked me about the face mask that I was wearing and did I have any available for sale. And I was like, well, I'll be sewing all day. I can have some by tomorrow. So we're going to meet at 12:30. She starts work at 1 and she'll need a face mask. And I'm going to make several for her to choose from, or maybe some of her co-workers want some. That's for tomorrow. So as I was leaving the dollar store, a man ran up to me and said, hey, are you selling those face masks? And I was like, yeah, but I don't have them ready yet. Do you want to take my number and call me tomorrow? I can meet you here where we were there at Planet Fitness, which is nearby my studio. If you give me a call, I can have some made up by tomorrow for you. And he said, yes, he would. So then we went to go take a doggy walk, and I saw a homeless man sitting by the laundromat, and he was pretty fancy. He had like a nice tilted hat and very clean, but he had his bags with him, and you could tell he was probably homeless. And I was like, when I first started this last night, I thought I would just make masks for all of the folks here in the shop, and then some homeless people around this area. But then as the day progressed and more people asked me, I realized I'm going to be making some for my Etsy shop and for all of you out there if you want to get a mask. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Anyway, I pulled the van over and ended up giving this man my second mask that I hadn't used yet, but turned out to be too large. It was a red plaid that was kind of punk rock. I loved it. I ended up going out and saying, hey, would you like a mask? And he was like, yes, thank you so much. And it seemed like he really appreciated it. So that was a lot of fun. So I've already got some orders coming in and already able to give away one at least so far, which I want to do. Two so far. So, let's see. And then after that, we went to do laundry, and the lady in the car next to me was talking on her phone with someone about how she works in the healthcare industry and that people weren't showing up to work because they were afraid, including people that clean the facility. And she was like super pissed off that they're not being fired and more people hired so that they can maintain, what they need to do there. And I was like, excuse me, hey, do you need a mask? I'm making them tonight. I'll have them available by tomorrow. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, here's my phone number. So there's that. And then what else happened? Oh, well, I got online and a bunch of you guys asked me about them. And my other van dweller lady friend, who I was already going to make one for, asked me if I could make some. And then I got on Etsy and there were messages asking me if I could make some. Now, all this while, I just saw that there were other face masks made on Etsy. And of course, the Amazon ones, but you might not get those for a month. And I thought like, okay, I don't need to make face masks because everybody's making face masks. And also, I don't want to take advantage of the situation. Well, I realize now that the demand is huge and they just made this edict last night that we all must have them, within a 24-hour period. People don't have them. So now I'm late. Now I'm late making them. I could have walked around today to the laundromat in the dollar store area and I could have sold anything that I had in a little basket today. No doubt. So what I'm going to do is, I was up till 2 a.m. last night making what I could, and which was only 5. There was a learning curve. Plus, I had a bunch of other stuff to do. But all the other sewing's being put away right now, and I'm going to make face masks for a while. So I'll be making them into tonight. I'm going to need a cup of coffee. So now, let me show you the face masks I've been making. Like I showed you on the first one, I had a little bit of elastic left over from making skirts, but it's too wide, so I had to do a little stitch right there. Wait a minute. To bring it in, just so right at the back of the ear it holds on well, and that ended up working pretty well. But I have another thing that I'm using instead for the rest of these. Now, first, let me show you real quick. Oh, okay, so here you can see my sewing table. And again, I'm very fortunate and so stoked right now to be a sewer with supplies. So I'm making my face masks, which I'll show you in a minute. You can see them here, out of, that's what a lot of the time took last night, was pre-cutting a lot of squares. They're 9x6 or 6.5. I'm making small, medium, large, basically. They're generally small, medium, large. So I cut out a bunch of squares, mostly out of t-shirt fabric, which is really soft and kind of thick, or thin, but what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't have a big wide weave. It's got a tight weave. That's what I'm looking for. So I did a lot out of t-shirt fabric and a few out of some other fabrics that I have. This beautiful rust color right here. I love that one. And I have, I'm very lucky to have t-shirts because that's what I work with a lot, See, these are all the bottoms of t-shirts that I cut the bottom off and turned it into a t-shirt baby doll dress. I also thought I might make a few out of denim, which I have here. So we'll see how that works out. But ever since what happened this morning with all the people wanting a face mask, I'm going to go as quick as I can. So let me show you the first face masks I made. The first one was hot pink and I already gave it away, but this is the second one. And it's an accordion fashion or style, which goes like this. Just like the surgical masks. And if you get a mask from me, you'll want to wash it because now I've tried them all on. Very comfortable. And you'll notice for the sides, I used this recycled t-shirt yarn that I got and had gotten for other projects and it didn't work out. And I just had this sitting around and wonder what it's going to be used for. Guess what? Face masks. Perfect. It's super comfortable and stretchy. So wonderful. Now, my first face mask is just a triple layer double-sided mask with no pocket for a filter. But now I'm starting to make the pocket for the filter. There is, oh, this is the other side of that mask I never showed you. And I already did this video once, so I pulled this apart. It's a little messy, but anyway, oops, forgot to cut a thread there. So the pocket just opens up on one side, and you can see my third layer there. And when it's closed, this goes all the way up, and this goes halfway down. So it's not open to the elements when it's covered up. So, like so. And you just put that one in there. So anyway, like whenever I smile at someone, I'm like, because they can't see the smile. They don't want us to touch, and they don't want us to see our smiles. We're already not looking at each other in the eyes when we walk down the street. So anyway, I developed the pocket idea. The other thing I did was I realized when I have 3 layers, and if you have like 3 to 4 layers, I think 4 layers. If you put a filter in here, that'll be 4 layers. That's almost like a 95 mask, from what I understand. In any case, anything you put on your face is going to be protective. And I felt that the whole time. I started looking for masks in January. And yes, then at some point I could have gotten one, but then didn't because the good ones were too expensive. So anyway, I knew I'd make some at some point. So here I go. But I realized when I put 3 layers, I'll often put a layer of this sweater fabric on the inside, which is really, doesn't seem too thick till you put all 3 layers together. And then when you do the accordion weave there, it bunches up a lot here. And then when you got to stitch through it, it's quite a bit to stitch through. So I came up with the idea of putting my 3rd layer just being sewn. It's just a smaller piece that doesn't go all the way to the end, so it's not so bulky, but still provides that protection right around the mouth and nose area. And then I just sew it on into place. So that's helped with the bulkiness on the side of the mask. So that's the pocket version of the mask, and I'll have some that are both pocket versions and non-pocket versions. At this time, I'm wearing a non-pocket version, and I feel that I'm taking care of my safety by wearing a mask of any kind and washing my hands regularly and keeping my immunity up. So I just had an apple, banana, cranberry juice, and peanut butter smoothie, and I've been rocking the smoothies. Best thing I ever bought for the van. That's the first mask. Here is the second mask. Now, these masks will be available on Etsy tonight. And I'll upload this video as soon as I make it. This one actually says Y, but you can't read it. W-Y. So here's the second mask. This is also a 3-ply mask, all t-shirt fabric. This one is a medium large. It's too big for me, as you can see. Maybe this is a large. I'll have to measure them out and see. That's that side, and then this side just has the 3rd layer stitched right on top. It's got red lines right here. All right, and the 3rd mask has this paint splatter pattern. I love it. So these masks will be listed in my Etsy store called California Patchwork, which you can find at etsy.com/California Patchwork. Wait. You can find these masks at etsy.com/shop/California Patchwork. Okay, so these 3 initial masks will be put up today, April 2nd, I believe it is, or April 3rd. And then there'll be many more being listed. I've got some that are already sold for tomorrow. But then there'll be a bunch of masks in my shop, and I'm not sure what the price is going to be yet because I haven't researched what they're going for, but I'm going to try and make them a little bit less than that and possibly do a nomadic crafter discount for you. So anyway, that's the 3rd mask. I love the paint splatter effect. And then this one is just blue on the other side and no pocket for this one. So that's the 3 that'll be up tonight. These 3 masks. Every single mask will be 100% one of a kind. And this one I'm keeping for myself to replace the one I gave to the homeless man. Love it, right? So yeah, you want it to fit, you know, a little bit snug. So you want to get the right size. Again, it'll probably be small to medium, medium to large would be the two sizes. So you can see all the fabrics I'm about to work with for more of these. Yeah. So I think that is about it. Yeah, so I'm really excited to be a recycler at this point, making these masks. I don't know if I said this, but I kind of felt before like I would be taking advantage of the situation, but now I realize, yeah, I said this, that the masks are needed and it could bring me some much needed income as well. So please do check out my store, California Patchwork on Etsy.com, to get masks if you need them, and I can send them out pretty quickly. Unfortunately, to mail anything, the minimum is 4, but I typically charge $3.50. So we'll see how that goes. These masks will be available soon. Again, Etsy.com/store/California Patchwork. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. And I want to thank you for watching this video. I better get to work because the demand is high right now. Everybody, be safe out there, and we'll talk at you later.